Hi everyone, Father Lamb here, and it's Wednesday again, and it's Wednesday, April 24th. And I was touched yesterday by the apostles. We're going through the apostles all during this Easter season, and it starts off at yesterday's verses, chapter 11 of the Acts of the Apostles, verse 19. Those who had been scattered by the persecution that arose because of Stephen went as far as Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch, preaching the word to no one but Jews. They were scattered. That's called the diaspora. What happened was in Jerusalem, with Stephen being killed, and then all the rest of the people who were professing themselves as Christians, they were all being persecuted. So they're basically having to leave Jerusalem. They're being forced, to go. In hiding. They had to get out. They're being persecuted and killed. That's a really terrible thing, uprooted from their homes that they've been in all their lives. But God can always take something negative and turn it into a positive. And so what happened was they started going out to the ends of the earth preaching the gospel. And so the gospel actually spread more. The scattering at the diaspora, being spread to, as it says here, to Phoenicia, Cyprus, and Antioch. And then as Antioch, the Christians they're called Christian for the very first time. The point would be that God can take a negative and turn it into a positive. And the same is true in our own spiritual lives. How often you and I, we struggle. We struggle with different sins that we have, different vices. And some of these vices or sins or character defects we can deal with. We try to become better in certain areas, and we pray and we fast and we make improvement. But it seems that each one of us has some kind of Achilles heel, some struggle that we have that we can't get rid of. That no matter how much we try, we keep falling into the same sin or into the same character defect, and it kind of gets depressing after a while. This is something that we need to give over to God. So if you can think of the greatest sin or character defect that you're struggling with right now, the greatest vice that you're struggling with in your own life, and I'm struggling with my life, give it over to the Lord. And sometimes he doesn't remove these things. Like St. Paul asked God to remove it, the whatever he was struggling with. He called it a thorn in his side. And God said to him, my love and grace are enough for you, for power works best in weakness. And so often the miracle of God is he may not take away our defective character. He may not take away our sin. But what he may do is allow other virtues to surface. Like, for example, humility. So often when you and I are doing well in the spiritual life, we can just be filled with a lot of pride and ego. Hey, I'm doing pretty darn good. But then you had that one defective character, that few struggles that you just can't seem to overcome. That brings us to a deeper humility that I'm really not in control. I really can't deal with this on my own. And then we have to surrender to God in a deeper way. You see, it's always about going deeper. In our culture, we just stay on the surface. There's all the different noise and motion that's going on in our culture. We don't go deep enough. And the same is true in the spiritual life. And we hit that wall, we hit that struggle, and we go, God, I've prayed about this and nothing's happening. And then we just quit prayer. No, go deeper. That's what St. Paul would teach us, to let us know that God works in our weakness. His love and his grace are enough. He's going to bring humility and other virtues out of our lives just by this very struggle that we're going through. Maybe this week we just might take a deeper look at that vice or character defect that we're struggling with. Don't get down on yourself about it. Give it over to God in a deeper way. He's always calling us to surrender more and more deeply every single day. So as you and I struggle with this, remember Jesus took that early Christian community and they were being persecuted. It was awful and they were trying to grow. And as soon as they started getting persecuted, they went out to the ends of the earth and preached the gospel, and God had it spread more and more because of that persecution. God's grace can work in our weakness. Don't quit until the miracle happens. God bless you.